Good morning and welcome to Missoula Real Estate Today. This is Denny Bedard. Missoula Real Estate Today is presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate. Diane's been working with buyers and sellers in the Missoula market for over 25 years and shares her insights on the local housing market. Along with her trusted partners, Diane provides complete service for your real estate transaction and brings us guests who provide useful information on industry-related topics and trends. And now, Missoula Real Estate Today on News Talk, KGVO. Hey, as always, thank you for being a part of Missoula Real Estate Today as your weekend rolls along. Our thanks to Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate, who sponsors the program and brings us interesting and fun guests to talk to, like Brandon Smith, Glidewell Investments and Insurance Group. Welcome back. Before we went on, I told you, D-Rod, it's been almost 11 months since you were here the last time.
Hey, good morning. Good to be here. Yeah, time flies. I guess when you're having fun, I cannot believe it's been.
Well, you're a busy guy. You do a lot of traveling, work-related traveling, right?
I do, and fun.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you get a lot out of the work-related stuff? You go to a lot of conferences?
Yeah.
You're a speaker as well?
Correct. I do. Yeah, speak at a lot of conferences. I believe last year, 2019, I think I had 41 outbound flights. All the way up until New Year's Eve was the last flight. And, attend conferences, have the opportunity just to speak into businesses and seminars and conference, and then also attend some of those and learn some great, valuable data to bring back and implement into our own business.
Yeah. How do you end up getting the gig? Do they say, hey, I heard this guy a few months ago, he's terrific, or do you kind of put your name out there and let people know that you're available and that you might be able to help what they got going on?
I honestly really just started off as spoke in kind of a breakout at a couple conferences, and from there it evolved into, hey, will you speak at our conference? Will you speak at our event? Will you do a keynote? And it's just grown over time, and so have just developed on the side here business leadership. My passion is to motivate, challenge, and just inspire people to be the best version of themselves.
So obviously you like it. Is it a stressful thing to get prepared to do something like that?
I love it.
Yeah.
It's a ton of fun, and sitting on airplanes can get old. Waiting to take off and waiting to get off is the hard part. Once we're in the air, you can work, sleep, enjoy the time. But
exactly, that's airports. Hurry up and wait. But well, give us let's get a refresher here, a little background on Glidewell Investments and Insurance Group and the history of Glidewell. Well-established name in the Missoula area. Been around a long time.
We have. Actually, 2020 is our 40-year anniversary.
All right, excellent.
Super excited about that. We small family business started in 1980 by my aunt and uncle, Dave and Carolyn Glidewell. And here we are 40 years later and, doing our best to grow. We haven't accomplished anything yet. Feel like we have a lot of potential. And
wow.
But yeah.
Are more of your clients coming to you for investment advice and the conversation turns to insurance needs, vice versa, 50-50 or what? What's the makeup of your clientele?
It's a good mixture of the two. We have clients that come to us through, both doors really are an entry point into our office and business model. But really what makes us unique is we are not that investment firm or that insurance agency that is there to sell more coverage, increase premium. We really take, the opposite approach, and that's believing that people are overinsured, paying for coverage they don't need, they may not realize they have, and trying to help them free up money in their budget so they can reallocate those dollars to getting out of debt, making ends meet, hopefully investing. And then the reverse is true. We have clients who come to us for investing, and reviewing their assets, we can see where they are overpaying or overinsuring, and maybe they need more liability coverage rather than worried about, somebody breaking in and stealing their TV.
That's got to be kind of a shock to some of your clients, isn't it? An insurance guy is telling me I have too much insurance. It got to be a breath of fresh air, but probably a bit of surprise sometimes.
Absolutely. There definitely is some shock, and people are like, wait, you're telling me I don't need that? We love to have the conversation, and at the end of the day, let the client have a choice of what they want, or, everybody has a different risk tolerance level or what brings them peace of mind. But I think it's foolish to, the purpose of insurance is to cover what would financially devastate you, not inconvenience you. And so if you have some money, a savings account, you can self-insure.
How well, by the way, this is Missoula Real Estate Today, presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate, and our guest is Brandon Smith. Brandon's with Glidewell Investments and Insurance Group. here in the Missoula area. Brandon, how well educated is the average client looking to, let's start with investments, how well educated looking to invest? Do they have a certain game plan or relying on you to advise them depending on the potential dollar amount?
Yeah, I think we really see two different demographics. We see the individuals nearing retirement age that have, a pension, IRAs, a 401k that they've earned over the course of their career. And now that they're nearing retirement, they've done some legwork of knowing what they have and why and how it works, and coming to us with a great foundation of knowledge. But the reverse is also true. We have young entrepreneurs who, fresh out of college, who have broke finance professors living paycheck to paycheck, trying to teach them how to handle their finances.
Sure.
And so they come in, honestly, really clueless, not understanding how it works. And so we have the opportunity to educate, correct. Our approach is that, I believe the difference between a contact and a contract is the letter R. And that letter R is relationships. Because when you have a relationship with someone, you're on the same side of the desk. We're not trying to sell a product they don't need, or to get them into invest into a product that is just a high, a commission for our financial planners, but really working with them, understanding their long-term goals, and helping educate along the way, so it ends up being a win-win.
Well, we'll get back to more on investments here shortly, but the insurance side, insurance is, as you know, it's a wants and need things. You might not want insurance, but it's needed. In some cases, it's required. What areas do you feel most people are insurance deficient? Let's start there. You brought up that, hey, if you've got too much insurance, I'll let you know. But what areas do people fall short, do you find a lot?
I'd say the most common area where people are underinsured is probably on their liability coverage. You have a home, right here in just the Missoula area, where the average home, I would guess, is $300,000 to $350,000.
Yeah. Statistically, it's about $310,000 right now.
Okay, so $310,000, and seeing a homeowner's policy that only has $100,000 in liability coverage, or even $300,000 in liability coverage. The purpose of the liability coverage is to protect your assets, everything you've worked so hard to build over the course of your life, and one accident, one split-second decision could jeopardize all of that. So if you have the proper liability coverage in place, it's going to protect your assets. So seeing somebody with that $310,000 home with $100,000 in liability coverage, if there is a lawsuit or something against them, they're now having to liquidate assets, wages being garnished, when just for $15 to $30 more a year could bump that $100,000 up to $300,000 or $500,000 or more. I mean, that's just your home.
Yeah.
If you have other assets in the bank, investment accounts, you probably need to look at $500,000 or up to $1 million in liability coverage. And the cost for liability is so minimal. But oftentimes when people are buying a home, they just need to get insurance in place so they can close the loan and suffice the mortgage. And, the bank is looking at coverage on the structure. If the structure burns down, they want to make sure their loan is going to be paid. So we often neglect and fail to look at what I believe is the most important piece. Because, there's less than a 1% chance your home is going to burn down and have a total loss.
Exactly.
But chances in today's society of a lawsuit, libel, slander, we're seeing things where, kids are making comments on social media about a teacher defamating their character, and it changes their reputation, and they're ending up having to step down from their job or their role. Their perception in the community changes, and now there's a potential lawsuit against that family. And if they're found negligent, how are they going to pay for that? They're going to have to liquidate assets.
That cannot be a real tough sell, can it? I mean, I get the dollar amount perception, and of course perception is the reality. You're dealing with a lot of customers, and you say, okay, you've got $150,000 liability, your home's worth $310,000, you're short here, but I would guess that a lot of customers are thinking, well, I'm not ever going to need the $150,000 to start with. My house isn't going to burn down statistically. I'm not going to have some kind of a legal dispute or some major disaster. So never mind, Brandon, $150,000 is enough on that. But the amounts that you are presenting and saying, this is how little it would cost to what, double, triple that? I mean, I would assume that's not to downplay your job here.
Right.
That can't be a real tough sell. That's just a common sense thing.
Right. It's extremely minimal. And I mean, when you really think about trip and fall, this time of year, if you don't properly shovel or maintain your driveway, and somebody's walking and slips on that and falls, they're going to hold you responsible. And if they have a great attorney, they're going to go for those policy limits and above and beyond. So yeah, but really, like I said earlier, everybody has a different tolerance level, risk tolerance, what brings you peace of mind. So our goal through that relationship is just to have a conversation of what gives you peace of mind. When you go to bed at night and close your eyes, you know that if something happened, everything you've devoted your life, we work hard. We're working 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week, and we wear it like a badge of honor, and we brag about how much time we work and invest in our business. And that can all be lost in just a moment. So having that conversation, understanding risk tolerance, peace of mind, budget, what fits in the budget. Maybe right now you can't afford $1 million, but maybe we can find ways to help you free up $200-$300 a year to help eliminate debt so that you can build wealth, so that you do need $1 million in liability coverage because your assets have grown.
Well, and this just in, we are in a more and more litigious society, aren't we?
We are.
There's a shocker to people.
It's crazy, and the things people are suing over is just unbelievable. And
right.
You hear that all the time. People saying, "I can't believe that there's this lawsuit about this." Like, who's doing that? Well, but that's happening more frequently. So somebody's doing it, and so you never know when it could be you on the back end of that lawsuit.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. Missoula Real Estate Today is presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate. Our guest is Brandon Smith of Glidewell Investments and Insurance Group. Nice to have Brandon back on the show. What are the advantages, Brandon, of being 100% independently owned?
That's a great question. The biggest advantage is we do not work for any one specific insurance carrier. We work for the client. We have contracts and work with several insurance carriers.
Right.
We aren't just a Allstate Farmers, Geico, where all we have is their product. So if you have, just for simplicity's sake, you have car insurance with us, and you get that renewal in 6 months or a year, and your rate is drastically increased. Let me just pause right here and say your rates are going to go up, just like the cost of gas, produce, milk. Yes, the cost of living goes up. So very rarely do we see, wow, my rate went down. So your rates go up. But if it's drastic and out, unnecessary, when you're with Geico, your only option is Geico. You either take that renewal or you restart the process of shopping insurance, looking at what else is out there, and gathering all that data and that information and entering into forms and applications over and over and over. With an independent, we work with dozens of carriers, and so when that renewal comes up, we can see, hey, this jumped drastically. We can be proactive in helping look at 11 other options and really presenting back to you the best option, discuss what the differences are in terms of policy and coverages. But again, it comes back to the relationship. If we have a relationship with you up front, understand what the goals are, that yes, price is important, but outside of price, everybody has something else that is equally important. Protecting what's most valuable, a particular type of coverage, a relationship. And so we work with dozens of carriers,
right,
which allows us the freedom and flexibility to really customize for the client-specific need.
See, and my first reaction to that is, wow, you must work harder than the average guy in your industry. How do you interact with multiple companies and lots of products and different price points? So you've obviously got your client's best interest at heart, but it sounds like there's a lot of plates spinning up on the sticks for you.
We do, but the truth is that we have a phenomenal team. The culture of our office is amazing. Our CSRs, our customer service reps, do a phenomenal job of running reports and seeing 45 to 60 days those renewals that are coming up and looking at the percentage of rate increase so that we can be proactive, dig into that, and understand why the rate increased, what other options there may be, and then contact our client and make them aware and prevent they get a notice in the mail, they get a notice about a deduction from their bank account, and they freak out, why is it so high?
Yeah.
We want to have that conversation. And so, yeah, we have a gal in our office, and that's what she does. She is looking at those renewals 30 to 45 days out. But, we use we try to do the best of staying up to date with technology and software to make that job as easy as possible. But we have a phenomenal team. That's how we're able to make it happen.
Are those insurance companies responsive to a company like yours? You listed a few insurance company names, but do those companies contact, say, Glidewell and say, "Hey, Brandon, just wanted you to know this is a new program we have," or, I mean, I'm sure you have other ways to keep up on that, but do they kind of try to stay ahead of it with you just to let you know what they might have available that's new or different?
Absolutely. The marketplace is continually changing and evolving with the Uber and Lyft and Airbnb. The risks are now greater for insurance companies because we are using our vehicles as taxis. We're renting out our homes as hotels, and so the more foot traffic creates more risk, more potential for claims, and so creating products that are changing with the world. And so companies are really good about coming to us and saying, "Hey, we're innovating. We're adding this. We're seeing this happen in other states. We're seeing this in metropolitan areas. We're seeing this in rural communities," and working with us. Quite honestly, a humble brag here. We just received out of the I want to say 35 to 40,000 independent, locally owned insurance agencies across America. We just received an accolade of top 20 to watch in 2020.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, humble brag all you want.
The reason behind that is, one, our team, our people, and the way we love our clients and build relationships, but the way we handle our follow-up, our systems, our strategies. I can tell you with GIAG, not one of our clients will ever be able to say, "I never heard from my agent. They didn't call me back." We have a great team, amazing team, but we do have some hard rules and guidelines, and that's if a client calls you, don't leave the office until you call them back, and return all calls within an hour, even if it's just to say, "Hey, Denny, I got your message. I'm looking into it. I'm working on this afternoon. I will call you back." But we don't ever want to be the independent insurance agency where the client can say, "I never heard back from me. They didn't return my calls. They didn't answer my questions." But that comes back to having a phenomenal team and building relationships with our clients.
Missoula Real Estate Today, presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate. Our guest, Brandon Smith, Glidewell Investments and Insurance Group, and he's ELP. You'll have to help me with this a little bit, Brandon. You're ELP, an endorsed local provider. Excuse me. What does that mean? What are the benefits?
Yeah, we are an endorsed local provider with Dave Ramsey, who I believe is on the network here. KGO,
he is on 7 to 10 weeknights and assorted other hours on the weekends sometimes as well. But yeah, he's been a mainstay of KGVO's lineup for quite a while now.
Yeah. So our business philosophy really aligns with Dave. And so when you go to Dave Ramsey's website, if you're looking for somebody that he recommends for insurance who has that same philosophy of how to live on a budget, stay out of debt, build wealth, be generous, give in your community. So our philosophy and his philosophy align. And so we've created a partnership with Dave. I've been working with him and his team since 2009. It's going on year 11 here, of him referring his listeners to us here in the state of Montana. And so when we sit down with his listeners, we're on the same side of the desk. We have the same mindset, the same goal of, everybody knows they should spend less than they make, save, invest, and prepare for the future. But we don't. And so why is that? And, as Dave says, as we say, it's a behavior issue. It's not head knowledge. It's, behavior modification is what we're doing. And so, being ELP has been a phenomenal resource for us and just a huge opportunity to make a positive influence in hundreds of households, thousands of households across the state of Montana.
You mentioned a few minutes ago the different products from different companies that you can represent. As far as the client or the customer goes, is it common to switch insurance companies often? Is that a good practice, or can it become tedious and not necessarily something worth doing? What is a customer's mindset about that?
A customer's mindset, from my perspective, is if my rate goes up, I need to shop and find something cheaper. The truth is, the insurance companies, they file all of their rates with the state of Montana, the Department of Insurance. The insurance companies compete with each other, and they're competitive, so that they leapfrog each other. It's a back and forth game. And so all actuary statistics show that when you stay with an insurance company long term, and I don't know how they define that, whether I want to say it's somewhere in that 5 to 7 year window, you actually come out ahead. The back and forth leapfrog game from time invested, down payments, because of the benefits you may earn over time with a carrier of cash back rewards or accident forgiveness, you lose some of those things. So in a given 10-year period, if you have a substantial claim, you've lost that accident forgiveness. You're going to pay higher rates for the next 3 to 5 years. And so the truth is, if you stay and ride it out with an insurance carrier for 5 to 7 years, you will come out ahead. But I would say, proactively, check, reevaluate. I'd say every 2 to 3 years, you want to sit down with your agent and just life changes. You sell a home, you buy a home, you have a kid, change careers, assets change. Really reevaluate, the more important things, liability and the assets.
You're also a claims assistant and advocate. Do I have that right?
We are. I am not.
When I said you, the that was a Glidewell.
Yes,
but
we are.
Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, we want to be hands-on and help the client with a white glove experience. When they have a claim, it can be frustrating. It can be, I don't know what's next, what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Are they waiting to hear from me? Do I hear from them? There's litigation and adjusters and waiting for the body shop and estimates. And so we just want to be there and hold the client's hand, let them know what's coming, answer their questions. This, again, I keep going back to it. It's a relationship. And we don't just want to collect your premium check each month and then out of mind, out of sight. We want to build customers for life. We want to do life with you. Be there. Honestly, when you see those commercials, one carrier, has a commercial where, you call your agent and he just shows up, 12 a.m., middle of the night.
Right.
That's not true. When you call that 800 number, you're going to get somebody different every time. They're not there. With us being local and independent, the truth is we are there. Our cell phone numbers are in your cell phone. The way we're set up, text us, call us, Facebook message us. We're going to respond and be there because we value the relationship with our clients.
Yeah. How many times a day does that happen for you in the course?
I can tell you now, I bet you today, this last week, I bet you I've received 60 to 70 different texts on my phone from clients. Hey, who do I talk to about this at this office? And
that's okay, right?
That's
what it's
how we
all
operate.
about?
That's how people want quick, out of mind, out of sight. Email is slow today. And so, they want real-time communication, and they feel like once they've communicated with us, it's off their desk.
Yeah.
And so text us.
Missoula Real Estate Today, presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate. Also a thank you to some of Diane's marketing partners that help make the show possible. That includes Rob Fleming with Man Mortgage, Miles Link of Opportunity Bank of Missoula, and Carol Blodgett with MakeItMissoula.com. We got Brandon Smith with Glidewell Investments and Insurance Group here on Missoula Real Estate Today. We talked earlier in the show, Brandon, about how well educated the average client looking to invest is. What about what are some common mistakes people make when buying or looking at insurance policies? One you brought up was too low a liability, but let's say you're shopping for insurance right now. What are some typical mistakes people will make, or things that you need to kind of guide them a little bit?
Yeah, especially on the purchase of a new home, there's a lot of numbers being thrown out to the homeowner, the client. They're seeing the appraised value, the fair market value, the Zillow value, the listed price, the offer price, the counter offer price, and then the loan amount, and then they get to the insurance. And so there's all these different numbers.
Yeah.
And so we'll often hear people say, well, it was a foreclosure. I bought the home for, $120,000. But what we're looking at on the insurance side is cost to rebuild. We're not looking at market value, sale price. If the home burns down, the land and lot is still there. And so, and then the reverse is true. There's time where people's like, my home's worth $500,000. I need $500,000 in coverage. That's what the bank wants. The bank wants to make sure the loan's covered. But on the insurance side, we're insuring for replacement costs if the home were to burn down. And so that's just another number that's different, and it seems to be difficult for people to understand at times because they think, I bought this home for $300,000, I need $300,000 in coverage. Well, we know, the listeners of the show know, location is everything when it comes to real estate. And so you could buy a 1,000 square foot home. There's condos here in Missoula, down by the baseball stadium, for $500,000-$600,000, 2-bedroom condo. The cost to rebuild that condo is not $500,000 from the walls in when you insure your condo. So having that conversation of replacement cost, because property values fluctuate and are different from one zip code to the next.
We've been focusing a lot on home insurance and a little bit on life insurance, but I don't want to ignore when you say Glidewell Investments and Insurance Group. Quite a group of insurance things that you can offer. Just a little bit, if you would, about some options you have for health insurance, senior citizen products, things like that. Sounds interesting.
Oh, thank you. We have a phenomenal team, Matt and Debbie Jones in our office. Unrelated, but Matt Jones and Debbie Jones, with Medicare Advantage plans, prescription, phenomenal. I don't know that there's anyone more educated in Missoula that focuses on just that product around the clock during open enrollment or the off months. That's what they do. Wow. Matt is incredible. So Medicare, health insurance, life insurance, with the whole Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, we work with the marketplace, have several different carriers we work with. We have some other carriers we work with outside of the traditional insurance companies, like MediShare, some plans where it's kind of a shared community at a lower, more affordable rate that have had phenomenal success with. So our office, we obviously the home and auto and life insurance, but a lot of commercial, small business, Medicare, long-term care, disability, retirement planning, and then we have our whole wealth management division as well.
And before we wrap it up here, believe it or not, we're almost out of time, but I'll let you kind of reinforce this one. I know you feel, Brandon, that it's very important, and it really, really matters to you, and it's obvious talking to you that it does. Your clients receive service from the same person they buy their policy from. Why is that important to you?
Relationships. I believe relationships are so key. And now, does that always happen? No. We have a team. We have customer service reps. We have sales guys, and oftentimes they're out on a sales call or meeting with a potential client or an existing client, and a client needs to get a hold of them, they can't. So we have support in the office and teams, but you're not going to call an 800 number to get our service center. You're not going to call and work with a VA, a virtual assistant. You are going to work with one of our 21 team members right here in Montana, pretty close to 24/7 available. There's a few hours late at night where your text might not get responded to, but we're here, we're local, going to have a relationship and be there for you when you need us the most.
Excellent. Brandon Smith with Glidewell Investments and Insurance Group on Missoula Real Estate Today, presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate. And got to wrap it up with some contact information, Brandon.
I appreciate it. My direct line, 406-258-0022. Call, text, fax that number. B. Smith, B as in Brandon, SMITH @GIIG.com. Or you can find me online at brandongives.com.
Great having you back on the show. Thanks for stopping by during your busy schedule.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Denny. Have a great weekend.
Thank you for listening to Missoula Real Estate Today. We hope you found this morning's information to be helpful. If you have any suggested topics for any future Missoula Real Estate Today programs or any questions about buying or selling, contact Diane Beck with Windermere Real Estate. Email dianebeck@realtor.com or visit her website, homesinmissoula.com. That's homesinmissoula.com. We'll see you next time on Missoula Real Estate Today.
This is Riley Corcoran, the voice of the Grizz, with Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate. Diane, tell us, how long have you been in the real estate business?
Riley, I've been selling real estate now for 25 years. I grew up in the Flathead Valley, moved down to Missoula in the early 80s, and raised my family here. I've been here ever since. Love real estate and love the Grizz.
Make sure you contact Diane at 360-7654 of Windermere Real Estate, one of the official realtors of The Grizz.